Okay, year 4. This is a continuation of what we did last week. So in this lesson, we're going to take the the ping pong game that we were doing last week and developing it slightly more. So this is what we did last week. So we have the ball here, we have the bat, and I've added some more code, which I'll just run through with you. And then, as you can see here, I've changed it slightly, so now you have a score, you have lives, and you hit the bat, as you can see here. And if I miss the bat, I lose some score and I lose some points. And so we can still see it moving around. And again, if I get it here, I get the bat, and then if I miss the bat, then I lose and I lose some score. So this is what I've developed. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to do that, because that's what we're going to do this lesson. So that's my old system. So I'll go back to what we were doing last week. Leave this one behind, and then we'll go back to what we were doing beforehand. Now, so again. So this is what we left on last week. So you have the bat, which again moves left and right, and change x by 10, minus 10 and 10, and then we've got the code for the ball. Remember, where we picked a random shape, we move 10 steps, and if it goes on the edge, it bounces, and if we hit the paddle, then it starts a sound and it points in another direction to move away. So how do we get to the next stage? So we've got the code, so I'm going to show you a couple of things. Now, the one thing I haven't really done a lot on at the moment, and I will talk about now, is variables. And now variables are great things. They're ways of storing values on a temporary basis, which we can then change as and when we need to. Now in Scratch, you can find variables on the side here, called variables. And at the moment, I haven't got any variables. It's listed my variable there and a list of actions that you can do with variables. So you can set a variable to a value, you can change the variable, you can show the variable, and you can hide the variable. Now we are going to make some variables. We're going to make a variable, okay, called score. Notice when I make it, it comes up there, as you can see. I'm going to make another variable called lives. Basically, what these values are going to store is how many lives I have and what score I have achieved. Done that, and you can see straight away the variables that I've created. Now, if I click these little tick boxes, you can either see them or not see them, as you can see them appearing or not appearing there. But at the moment, I want both of them to be displayed. Now, I can change where they're positioned, so I can put one there or one there. I'm going to make it like that, so you can see my score on the left-hand side and my lives. So now we start with the code. That's the hard part. So at the moment, we've got the paddle and we have the ball. I'm going to change the code in the ball. And now in the ball, it says when I start the game, the green flag, this is what I'm going to do. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, obviously, when we start the game, we want the score to start at 0 and the lives I'm going to set as 3. So you get lives in this game. So I'm going to set this bit here, the lives, to 3, and I'm going to set the score to. Now notice when I click on this drop down, I get a list of all the variables that I have in my system, and I'm going to pick the one I've created called score, and I'm going to set that to 0. So now when we run it, you'll notice that the score lives goes to 3 and the score goes to 0. Now at the moment, the game doesn't do very much. It's only got 2 variables, so we need to develop a little bit more. Next bit is, okay, so I'm playing the game. Now at the moment, I'm not getting any score. It's just saying 0. So I'm going to make it so that every time that you all move, paddle, I'm going to get some score. So actually, I'm going to make it so when it hits the paddle, i.e. I've shielded it against going away from me, I'm going to get some score. Now if we go through the code, I'll just explain. So remember we did this like this in the ball, this starts the game by starting the ball in a random direction, and it does this loop, forever loop, as you can see here. Starts there, finishes there. Moves 10 steps. If it hits the edge, it bounces. If I'm touching the paddle, then I'm going to start the sound water drop. I'm going to change the direction of the ball. That's what that code does there, and it moves away from the paddle. But what also I'm going to do is, if I touch the paddle, I'm going to change my score by 1 point. I could make it 10 points. Shall we make it 10 points? At the moment, it says change lives by 1. I don't want to add more lives to myself. I want to add score. So I click on that and I click score. And then I'm going to change that. I'm going to say add 10 points to my score. If I run this now, you will see my score will go up 10 points every time. Now, if I miss the ball, nothing happens at the moment. I just don't get points. Which is okay, but what I want to make the game a little bit more competitive. So I'll say, well, okay, if I miss the ball, I need to lose a life. How would I do that? So we get a little bit more tricky. How do we know if I've missed the ball? Well, if we look at the ball, and I can move it around here, you remember the X and Y position. So X is the left and right, Y is up and down. Now, by default, if we start at 0 and 0, the ball is in the center of the screen. If I go up, my Y changes. If I go down, I get a minus value, because anything below 0 in the Y axis goes below 0. Remember, your number line above 0 is plus, below 0 is minus. Now X is the same. Every time I go left, it goes into minus figures. Every time I go right of the 0 point, it goes into the combination of the X and Y says where my ball is. So if I go back to 0, 0, it will go back in the middle. So what I can say is, if my ball goes below the bat, so in other words, if it goes below, if I look at the vertical, i.e. the up and down axis, if it goes below a certain point, in this case I've said it is minus 165, which is kind of about that. So if I hit the floor, then I've gone past the bat, and therefore I need to lose some life. I've missed the bat. How do we do that? This is the difficult bit. Now, like we use the if bit. Oh, sorry. If we use the if bit. Now, the if bit, remember, an if is what we call selection encoding. Basically, it means if something happens, then do something. Now, with the if bit, it says here, this is the existing if, says if the ball is touching the paddle and do all these things. What I'm going to do is say, well, okay, I'm going to do another if. So as well as checking that constantly, if I'm touching the paddle, not the ball is touching the paddle, I'm going to check if I go past the paddle. So to do the if, it's in the, you remember, you need to go onto the side here into the control, because it's controlling the flow of the program. We're going to glue this if bit again after the other if, not before. Not, you could put it before, it'd still work, but we're going to put it there inside the forever, because this is going to keep on going. It's got to keep on looping. So with the if bit, what I've got here says if. Now I haven't put an if in, and what's the condition? So this is where I need to be a little bit clever, and I'm going to use the green bit. Now the green bit I'll explain in a sec. I'm going to use the less than option. Less than means the arrow's pointing in the left direction. But what we're saying here, if blank is less than 50, then do something. So the blank bit, I need to say, what's the blank bit? Well, it's the Y position, the vertical position of the ball. How do we know that? Well, we'll go into the position of the ball, the motion, and then we look at the Y position of the ball, and we say if the Y position is less than 165. Remember, we said 165 is when the ball is hit. So 165, just to show you where that is, minus 165. That's when the ball is there. Not quite on the edge, but near enough. So I'm saying if my ball goes below that point or goes to that point, so less than, then I need to do something. I need to do, well, essentially what I've done is lost. So to make the game a little bit more interesting, I will say, let's play a sound to say, you know, you've gone wrong. So in my case, I haven't got any sounds yet. I'm going to add, so at the moment I've just got boing and water drop. I'm going to add another sound called bonk, which is what that sound is. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna do that. So yeah, we'll have that. And now I've got three sounds: boing, water drop, and bonk. So I'm going to go to code and I say, well, I want to play that sound, but I'm going to stop the game. I'm going to play the sound until done. In other words, it slightly pauses the game while the sound is played to make the user think, oh no, I've messed up. I've lost the score. Now the other thing I want to do, I don't want to keep the ball there, otherwise I'll just keep on losing lives. I thought, well, I can't keep the ball there. Once I've lost a life, I need to reset the game effectively. So I need to say, okay, I played my sound, boink, and I'm going to move my sprite back to where it should be. So go in here, I'm going to say, okay, I want you, when you've played the sound, to go to the following position, -50. Now just to give you an idea what that is, I'm essentially moving the ball back up there. And then I'm going to say, get this statement here, copy it, so rather than me doing it all again, duplicate that bit there, because I'm going to put it back to where we started. So I'm not only going to move my ball back, but I'm also going to pick a random position which it faces so that it starts again. Now I've lost a life, because remember, if the ball goes past me, I play a sound, I reset the ball, I pick a random direction for the ball to carry on in, but I need to change my lives. So I need to change my lives, so make sure it's lives, yep, it is lives, by not 1, because that would add 1 to my lives. So I want to go -1, so I'm taking. Now if I now run this game, that's okay, I've hit that, I've got 10 points there, I've got another 10 points, and then I'm going to miss the ball. Oh dear, oh, I've got to be very quick. I've lost all my 3 lives in the space of a few seconds. Now one of the other things we've got to do in developing this game is, obviously we can't keep on losing lives. So look, oh, I've lost a life. I'm -1, oh, -2, oh, -3, -5. Notice, by the way, when I died, my ball's starting in the middle. I think I might change that so that my ball starts up there, which is 158, I believe. Is that Y position 158? So actually, I want to change that to 100. Otherwise, it's not very fair. Or 100. So then when I die, it starts the ball in a better place. So shall we try again? Yeah, so it starts a bit further up there. Okay, I might want to change it again. Maybe put it further up there. Maybe put it up here. Like that. Die. And it starts back up there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now I've created this game, and now hopefully, having watched this video, and you can pause this video and change it at different points, just so you can get the code and you can have a go at doing that. Now that's what I want you to try and do this lesson. The next stage, for those of you who are feeling a little bit more adventurous, I would like to add another character, another paddle. Now we could do that by simply copying that paddle, right click on it and duplicate it, so it duplicates the paddle and the code. So if I was to do that, we now have 2 paddles. But I need to change obviously you don't want 2 paddles the same color, so you would change that paddle to a different color by editing the graphic, and you might want to change the arrows, because at the moment, if I do that, now both paddles are in the same position. That's because they both go to the same position at the beginning. Change, and obviously I don't want it, so if I put that at 155, now I don't want it, so every time I press my left key and right key, it's changing the same button. I might want to have another player, so I might say for the other button, paddle 2, rather than use my left arrow key to go left and my right arrow key to go right, I might give the other player a different set of keys to go left and right. So we're both moving the paddles different directions. Also, you'd have to try and see if you can figure this out. We'd have to have a different score for the other player and a different set of lives for the other player. So obviously, whoever gets to 0 first in lives is the loser, effectively. So try and play with that. Maybe change some of the colours, put a different background in there, see what we can do. That's to keep you going, to keep you thinking. So hopefully that video has been helpful to you, and I hope you use this hour's lesson to produce a good little game. And if you want to share it with me, click on the share icon at the top here and I can see what you've done. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.